And here's the funny thing. I was a psychology major in undergrad, so I had studied abusive relationships. I wasn't an expert by any means, but I had studied them. And it was like I had this flashback to when I was studying psychology. And I remember learning about how people that physically abuse their spouses, they always blamed them. I didn't have the term gaslighting at the time, but I knew that they shifted the blame to them. And, well, you know how I get when I'm angry, so why would you make me angry? And so when he said that, it was like, oh my gosh, this is an emotionally abusive relationship. I was asked not too long ago, when did I know that I was being emotionally abused by my narcissistic ex? And my answer might be a little surprising to you, because I didn't know until the actual end of our relationship that I was being emotionally abused. A little bit more about my story and how I even began to realize that this is what I was going through. I remember a couple of months before we broke up, I called one of my best friends, and I would just, you just do that. You vent to your best friend and ask for advice and all this stuff. And I remember telling her, I just feel like I live with an overgrown teenager. Like, he's just so emotionally immature. And this was a narrative that I had in my head that kept me in this cycle of abuse. Because you see, I wasn't able to realize that it was emotional abuse because I was too busy trying to fix the problem that he had. And in my mind, the problem that he had was he never has had a healthy relationship, because he's told me this story about how his ex-husband was so awful and abused him and cheated on him and hurt him and like all these things, and that his growing up was very toxic and he was passed around from relative to relative. And, we're fed the sob story by a narcissist, and they're always the victim in their story, in every single story that they have. And so I just wanted to be that good example for him. I tried so hard to be patient. Like, even when he's screaming, like, I kept myself calm and just showed him, like, I'm a safe place for you and this and this. And I was so busy being wrapped up in that narrative that I couldn't see the relationship for what it was. Here's what finally opened my eyes to it. The night that I kicked him out was the night that I was the most scared. It was the first time that I actually was very scared for my own physical safety. He had really aggressive behaviors previously to that, but nothing that made me feel like I was gonna get hurt. He would hit the wall and throw his phone and, all of that. And now I know, with the knowledge that I have, that that is abuse, and that he was probably hitting the wall because he wanted to hit me, but didn't. But the day I kicked him out is when he had me actually like backed against a corner. His fist was balled up. He was spitting on me. The veins were popping out of his neck. And I was in a position where I truly felt like if I didn't do anything, that I was about to get hurt. So I kicked him out. The next day, I allowed him to come back to get his clothes because I was done. When he came back, we started talking a little bit about what had happened the night before. And without trying to get into too much of the background situation, essentially what he told me was, if you had just defended me, I wouldn't have acted that way. And here's the funny thing. I was a psychology major in undergrad, so I had studied abusive relationships. I wasn't an expert by any means, but I had studied them. And it was like I had this flashback to when I was studying psychology. And I remember learning about how people that physically abuse their spouses, they always blamed them. I didn't have the term gaslighting at the time, but I knew that they shifted the blame to them. And, well, you know how I get when I'm angry, so why would you make me angry? And so when he said that, it was like, oh my gosh, this is an emotionally abusive relationship. I still didn't have the term narcissism attached to it. Again, that came 2 weeks later. But that was when it finally clicked. This isn't just emotional immaturity. This is emotional abuse. I know for me, I had to get to this point to where I hit my breaking point. And my breaking point was being backed against the wall. And that's when I finally was able to see it for what it was. I had to finally understand that I wasn't able to fix him. It wasn't my job. And he could only be fixed if he wanted to. And if you're in this situation still currently, understand that there is a very big difference between emotional immaturity and just emotional abuse. When you see it for what it is, that's when you have to take back control. Hey you guys, thank you for watching this video. I wanted to come on here real quick and make sure that you knew that my course, Breaking Free from Rumination, is now live and available. This course is designed to help you heal from the pain of narcissistic abuse, specifically the betrayal, and help you regain your peace by overcoming this obsessive thinking cycle that we all find ourselves in. I really truly believe that this course is going to help you do in 6 weeks what took me 6 months, because I was having to figure this out all on my own. So I took everything, all of the tips, all of the tricks, combined it into a 6-week course with specific homework, specific strategies, with scientific-based articles. There's multiple different videos from authors and other creators to help explain all the parts that keep us stuck in this obsessive thinking cycle. So please don't wait any longer. It is available for you now. Just go to the About Me section in my profile, go to the Beacons link, and you'll find it right there. Please continue to follow me for all of my free content on this platform. And as always, I am so grateful to be a part of your healing journey.